Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. I'm joined with my co-host, my partner in crime as always, Dylan, Nets Press. No news, some news, rumors. The Cam Thomas drama is in full effect. It looks like from multiple reports that he's just fit to take the qualifying offer of $6 million. Well, first, give me your thoughts on that.
I think it's absolutely pathetic on both ends. Not only is that just some of the poorest representation you could possibly think of, it's also just stupidity on the Nets end to either A, not get a long-term deal done, or B, trade him. At this point, it's again, we say this every offseason with some situations. This is pure malpractice on both ends. The same thing's going on with Kuminga. I just saw something that Kuminga is willing to take on like a $7.9 million qualifying offer instead of $22.5 million a year. If you have an agent that is sitting there and telling you to take 3 times less the amount of money for one singular season, he should be fired. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the same exact situation. Cam Thomas has the chance to make 2 times the amount that he's going to make for this qualifying offer, and they're telling him not to. It's poor representation on all ends. It's absolutely pathetic, and it's also pathetic on the Nets end to not try and work on a sign and trade because you're making it clear as day and obvious that you don't want to be long term.
Right, and I mean, I think that's the part that no one is fully grasping. The Nets don't want him here, and I wanted to put this out here. Cam Thomas, just give me your initial reaction on this. Cam Thomas is the best net they've brought up in their own organization since Kmart and Richard Jefferson 20-something years ago.
I disagree.
All right. Give me the names of the guys that are better. You're going to say Jared Allen? I'll agree. But besides Jared Allen.
Brooke Lopez.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give Brooke Lopez that nod. I think he's by far I mean, if you're talking about the time and the era, he was one of the better bigs of that era. And not only that, at the age of 34, he was able to develop a 3-point shot so he can stay in the league because guys of his age and his caliber of big man status were losing their jobs because of how the NBA was transitioning at the big man position. Only him and Al Horford survived that era. So, yeah, I would say Brooke Lopez. But is Cam Thomas one of the better draft picks we've had? For sure. But that's also not saying much because we haven't had a single high-end pick in the last 14 years. So, like it really just depends on how you value the picks and stuff of that nature. I mean, I would say if you're talking all the draft picks, I would put Jared Allen above him, Brooke Lopez. I mean, you could make the debate for Nick Claxton. I know that we're all not fans of him now, but
Nick Claxton is not better than Cam Thomas.
Being top 5 in defensive player of the year, one singular year, is better than anything Cam Thomas has done in terms of accolades in his career. You can't deny it. It is factual.
Yeah, as far as okay, sure. But if we put you on truth serum and hooks you up to a lie detector test and said who's better at basketball, Cam Thomas or Nick Claxton?
Yeah, of course you're going to say Cam Thomas now.
Okay.
But if you're comparing 2 years ago, defensive player of the year, starting big man Nick Claxton next to bench piece, did not play Cam Thomas, you're going to say Nick Claxton was the better player. So it's like, how do you value their careers? You know what I mean? I'd rather Nick Claxton's career than Cam Thomas's career as of right now.
Yes. Okay, but that's like a whole debate. Like, whose career would you rather have, Eli Manning or Dan Marino? That's not telling me who's better, right?
No, of course, but it also kind of factors into the entire game, right? Who's gotten paid more? Who's been a starter longer? Who's been higher in award races? Nick Claxton's been the better player throughout his career as an entirety so far, but Cam Thomas the past year and a half has been better than Nick Claxton, yeah.
All right. I don't want to get too tied up in the weeds. My point, and maybe Karis LeVert. Would you say Karis LeVert's a better basketball player than Cam Thomas? I probably would. No? I was a big LeVert fan. LeVert
I was never big on those. Yeah, I was never big on the role player game.
The playoffs when Kyrie was hurt. He did. They weren't good, but he did get him into the playoffs when Kyrie was out.
Well, it was also, a shortened season with the bubble?
It was. Yeah. But I was saying, what has Cam Thomas done that Karis LeVert hasn't? You know what I'm saying?
That's my point. Is like, it's not special to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, if you're declining double the amount of money that you can take, you're an idiot. And at the end of the day, if you're not willing to trade the player away to solve the situation, then you're also an idiot. So this is stupidity on both ends. Like, this is malpractice on the front office. This is malpractice as an agent. This is just horrible negotiations.
I want to push back on that a little bit, right? Because the what they're offering, the $14 million, is more than twice as much, 2.5 times as much, basically, which is a lot of money. It's $28 million over 2 years. If I'm Cam Thomas and I think I can get 25 to 30 next year, that's let's say I can get 28 next year. I'll just take the 6 this year and get 28 next year, and then 28 moving forward. Why am I locking myself into? If you make it a player option, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm going to average 25, 27 points a game on 45, 35, 85 shooting, and the money's going to be there because I believe in myself. Look, I don't think Cam Thomas lacks any confidence. I don't believe that, right? So if he believes in himself that he can put up 25 points a game, maybe get 4 or 5 assists a game, 5 is going to be a lot, maybe 4. He's got Michael Porter to shoot. You know, he's going to get more assists than he did last year just because you got a guy that can make shots, right? So if I can average 25 and 4 on 45, 35, 85 shooting, I believe in myself. I think I can go get 28 million next year alone. I can get 3 years, 3 years, whatever that is, 90 million, 70, 85 million. Why am I locking into this contract when I don't even have it's a team option, not a player option? Why am I locking into that for 2 years? I'll just take short money this year and bet on myself.
Because I don't think he's going to prove himself.
Well, I mean, then he'll live with the consequences of that. If I was Cam Thomas, I would not take. If you were Cam Thomas, you would take the 2-year, 28 million, 2-year, 14 per.
You're telling me at the age of 24 years old, I can make either $14 million or $6 million? Yeah, I'm going to make the $14 million. Because either way, you're either A, you're opting into that deal and you're still making $14 million the next year, or B, you're getting opted out and you're going to test the open market. Like, yeah, I'm taking my money now. I think it's pure stupidity from both ends.
What is shocking to me is that it's a $6 million qualifying offer out there. If someone came in and offered him $8 million a year, he would sign the offer sheet, and then the Nets could make a decision, which I guess they would match. But no one's even came in and offered him anything more than the qualifying offer. Is that correct? Like, no one's offered him anything.
Nobody's given him an offer, period.
That's what I'm saying. So no one is even willing to give him over $6 million a year. Because I'm saying, if I gave an offer sheet for 8, 1 year, $8 million, well, that's better than 6. I'll just sign that, and the Nets can match it or not, right? Like, to me, signing, like, when I said don't even bother bringing them back, and you guys all mocked me and said, well, you can trade them. But for what reason, right? Like, if someone else offers them $8 million a year or $10 million a year, and the Nets don't want them, there's no trade market for him, obviously. Like, the league is telling me there's no trade market for him, so I can't really trade him. So I'd rather just cut ties with them and spend the money on Kuminga or something else, because we still have to do something with that money. It's not going to Cam Thomas. So I guess my question is, if someone came in and offered him an $8 or $10 million contract, do you think the Nets would match it?
Probably. Because it's below the threshold of what we're offering him, so you're getting him for cheaper. I just pulled it up, though, and this is the exact reason why not a single restricted free agent should be even trying to bet on themselves for next season. The only 2 teams in the NBA as of right now with numerous amounts of cap space next year, the Nets and the Wizards. The Wizards going to want Cam Thomas?
I don't know. Probably not, but it's the Wizards. Yeah,
they are.
I can't. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, you have Trey Johnson, you have Bob Carrington. You don't need him.
Yeah, can you imagine him with Trey Johnson on the same team? That'd be extraordinary.
Are the Wizards going to want Josh Giddey? They have Bob Carrington. They have Trey Johnson. They have Bilal Coulibaly. No, they're not going to want to pay him $25+ million. You know what I mean? Like Quentin Grimes. The only team that may actually even show a little bit of interest is the Nets. They're probably not going to pay him because they refuse to pay Cam Thomas. Like, what makes these guys think they're getting paid? And this is exactly why I go back to the representation end of things. If you're an agent and you have the landscape of this offseason and next offseason on your notepad, and you're looking at this and saying, yeah, I think my client's going to get more money next year, you're an idiot. Because not a single team has the cap space to do so other than the team that is currently holding up the market in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree. You look at all the crazy money that's being thrown around, and Cam Thomas, and I agree with him, has got to think in his mind, if I can put together a season where I just score, and I up my assists, I just trend upward. I go from 3 to 4. That's it, right? I try to shake this reputation as a bull hog, which is extraordinary to me. I mean, but whatever. We'll get to that in a minute. I shake that reputation a little bit. Someone's going to offer me the bag. Someone is.
But who? Because it's going to be the Nets or the Wizards.
This is the and the Nets aren't going to offer him, so that's the Wizards.
That's my thing. Like, if he was smart and if his representation was smart, you take the deal that they're giving you, whether you like it or not. You're making double the amount of money that you can for one singular season next season, and you're either A, getting your wish and being an unrestricted free agent, or B, guess what? You get to sit there and cry while making $14 million the following season too. Boo-hoo. It's so bad. My life is horrible. Like, it's pathetic.
That's what Jeff Teague told him. Jeff Teague said you should just take the money. $14 million a year is a pretty good living. Yeah.
Realistically, the worst case scenario for him is he has to play on a $14 million deal for the next 2 years, and he can walk in the 2027 offseason when more teams have cap space. Sounds like a really rough life to me. That sounds horrible.
You make a salient point here. Like this is a good point, and you are swaying me a little bit more to that he should just sign it. I guess, but there's also, like, here's my point. I don't know what you guys think of Cam Thomas. I don't really care. If he can't get Terrence Mann money, there's something wrong here, and I'm not signing it. Like, I'm not signing a contract that makes me grossly underpaid. Like, I'm not signing that. Like, you're asking me to sign something, and you're gonna say it's $14 million, and that's a lot of money.
It's not even that. It's the market. Terrence Mann had a market. He also got extended as a rookie off of his rookie extension.
Has he ever averaged 10 points a game, 12 points a game?
Pretty sure he did with the Clippers 1 year.
1 year? What did he average? 10, 12? Like, no more than 12. You know, Cam Thomas averaged double that. Like,
yeah, but he also doesn't have the defense that Terrence Mann has.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Like, again, everything's going to be valued. A 3-and-D player in this league is valued more than a guy that can give you 20 plus, but nothing else. That's just a fact.
No, you're 100%.
The guy that can shoot efficient from the 3 and play defense at a high caliber is more effective in today's NBA than a guy that can just score. Yeah, Terrence Mann averaged 10.8 points in 2021, and since then he's averaged 8.8, 8.8, 7.7, 6, and 9.8.
I just, like, Terrence Mann's fine. He's an NBA player. Like, I just view guys like Terrence Mann and Mikal Bridges as not much different. Like,
yeah, but you also have I mean, like, you also have to think about it. Terrence Mann got his extension while playing with the Clippers. In 2021 and 2022, the Clippers were looked at as one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Again, you toss out money when you're trying to compete. $15.5 million on a contending team is a bench piece.
But that's why correct. I'm not understanding why no one else is. I'm not saying put the Nets to the side for make the Nets counterpunch. Someone else gives a $12 million offer to Cam Thomas. Now you put the ball in the Nets court. 1 year, $12 million for Cam Thomas. Approve it.
Match it and trade him.
Okay. You could try to trade him, but I don't know who's trading for him on a 1 year deal. Maybe you can. Right? What are you gonna? I mean, I guess
Milwaukee, Detroit.
All right, if you lock him up now to a 1 year deal, what is Detroit trading for him? I don't think they're giving you Jaden Ivey anymore because they're going to lose him at the end of the year.
Well, it's a expiring contract for an expiring contract. I think that actually makes a ton of sense. True. I just don't think the Nets will get a first round pick out of it.
This is getting to be a mess. I don't know what the right move is. Like, and the other thing is that I want to switch here and get your take on if they Cam either is gone or he takes the $6 million qualifying offer. What is you want to address this first?
No. I just wanted to pop it up. I'm just popping up some comments that I see on here.
If he takes the qualifying offer or if he's gone altogether, what do the Nets do with the rest of the money? We're running out of options here. Like, you have to spend the money. You have to spend 90% of the cap. The Nets have
That's why I think the sign-in trade's happening. It makes no logistic sense because you can't bring in another contract of the level of Michael Porter Jr. Like, you can't bring in another guy for $40 million. You just, unless if you're giving up Nick Claxton, that doesn't make sense. So I don't see Cam Thomas on this team. I really don't. He's not a fit. He's not a long-term fit. He's not the guy. He's not worth any forms of high-end money. It's just time to move on for both sides.
I guess I just don't understand why that rest. And I'm not saying I think Cam Thomas is like Luka or he's that level of scorer. Cam Thomas is an exceptional bucket getter. And to me, like, there's a reason why a heart surgeon makes more money than a GP. Because the GP is highly replaceable. I don't care if it's the best GP in the world. The skill set is highly replaceable. And I look at guys like 3-and-D guys like Terrence Mann and Mikal Bridges, and I say these guys are highly replaceable. Cam Thomas is less replaceable. And people get paid
sense?
On how replaceable. There's not 50 guys in the NBA that can do what Cam Thomas can do.
All 50 guys, I could probably name about 100 guys that can put up 23 a game inefficiently on the worst team in basketball.
It's not just like it's not putting comparing guys' stats in completely different situations. To me, isn't the best metric of gauging a guy's ability, right?
Trey Murphy on the Nets instead of Cam Thomas. Who's the better player? Who's the better scorer? Probably Trey Murphy, right? Trey Murphy just put up 21.5.
I would say Cam's the better scorer than Trey. Trey's might be an all-around a little bit better basketball player. But I would say, just as a scorer, Cam's a better scorer. Look, I'm not. Trey's a great player for sure. That's not who would I rather have? I guess I'd rather have Trey Murphy because he's a better building block, right? Like he's a better piece to have. He can exist a little bit more in an offense than Cam Thomas can, who has to be the offense. So I get that. But I would say Cam's a better scorer. Like, to me, I just don't understand. Like, I'm going to say that Cam Thomas is the heart surgeon. He has a specific skill set that you can't find anywhere. Guys like Terrence Mann and Mikal Bridges are the general practitioners. Like, they don't do anything. Okay, I'm not saying they're bad, but the skill set, they don't have a specific skill set. They're just kind of like extra guys. And that's why I don't understand why the NBA is valuing those guys who I think are easily replaceable, but not a guy like Cam who has a very specific skill set. Let me read this.
Dylan. Oh yeah, I was looking at that too. I was gonna respond to it. I've said it numerous times. My preference stays the same. It's gonna be consistent. It's not gonna change. But I don't not like Cam Thomas. I just know that he's replaceable because I've seen players like this in the past. You know what I mean? Like Bradley Beal on the Washington Wizards was an all-star, put up 30 and finished top 5 in MVP voting on one of the worst teams in basketball.
Did he really?
What is he doing
top
now?
5 in MVP voting?
He finished top 5 in MVP voting that year.
This is why you guys should not take these media. I like Bradley Beal. I like guys who can get buckets. If you're not like, I love Jordan Clarkson. I love Lou Williams. I love guys like this.
Yeah, these are all guys that are all replaceable on every team they've been on.
Who's more easily replaceable? Lou Williams or Mikal Bridges?
Lou Williams.
I disagree 100%.
I value 3-and-D. I value guys who can do multiple things at a good level. It doesn't have to be all-star level. It needs to be consistent in numerous aspects of the game. He's consistently good as a defender. He's consistently good as a floor spacer. He's consistently good as a perimeter defender. Those are 3 valuable things in this league. And he also fits a system. Like in terms of being a 3rd, 4th option, Cam Thomas can't be a 3rd, 4th. He can't be a 1 through 4 option on a championship team.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that entirely. Right?
He had the opportunity to. Notice how a lot of these guys who come in their rookie years have the ability to play as rotational pieces. He wasn't able to. Why? Because he was a liability in numerous ends of the court. Okay. He did not earn the trust of 3 different head coaches. It's not a head coach problem. It's a Cam Thomas problem. If you can't earn the trust of 3 different head coaches, that's a problem.
There are championship teams whose 3rd best player comes off the bench. Kevin McHale came off the bench for years. Manu Ginobili came off the bench for years.
That's my point.
Right?
All these guys
Andre Iguodala came off the bench on that first Golden State team. Just because he's coming off the bench doesn't mean he's not one of your top.
No, but it's not
players.
It's not even that he's coming off the bench. He's not playing. He wasn't even able to
crack
many
playing.
Of games.
The final, unless he's cooking. The final 4 minutes of a playoff game, you're right. He's probably not in the game. I agree.
I gotta answer this comment because this is just here's where the stupidity gets me. What is a 6th man in the NBA? 6th, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 6.
This is what we're talking about, right? I understand.
That's not a third option. That's a 6-man. Like, I'm sorry, but that's you
hang on.
gotta understand these things.
Okay, let me push back on that. Who were the 5 options the Spurs had before they got to Manu?
5
he
options.
Was the second or third options. He was the second or third best player on that team.
But what
I think on one of the teams he might have been the best player on the team.
But are we just talking about options in terms of scoring?
Options as in terms of scoring and options in terms of who's the best player on this team.
Okay, and what Manu team are we talking about? What year?
Pick any of them besides the 03.
We talking like early 2000s with Dave Robinson and all them?
The 07 team, where I think
the 07 team. So that was what? That was Manu, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan.
Okay. Yeah.
Who else was there?
Boris Diaw probably. I'll pull up the roster right now. I don't want to guess here.
I was gonna say I'm gonna pull up the roster as well. 2007 Spurs roster. I look up 2007 Spurs roster and I see 3 pictures of Wemby, Dylan Harper, and Stephon Castle. Thanks, Google. Let's see. Matt Bonner, Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, Michael Finley, Manu Ginobili, Robert Horry, Tony Parker. Jacques Vaughn was on that team. I mean, who was their starting 1 and 2 that year? Tony was starting 1.
I guess Finley started. Did Finley start on that? Was Jefferson? No, Jefferson was on that.
And that was
team.
Manu. You said that was Manu's rookie year? No way, right?
No. 03 was his rookie year. So any year besides any of the championship teams besides 03. Take that way. That was his rookie year.
And in 07, he came off as a 6-man.
Right. He's a 6-man. Right.
Is that what you're?
And he's coming off the bench.
You.
But he might have been the best player on the team. Duncan still probably was, but he was the second best player on that team. Like, to me, Manu Ginobili, because he was willing to accept the role, gets overlooked. I think, and I say this every day, Manu Ginobili is the most underrated player in the history of this game. Look, I'm not comparing Cam Thomas to Manu Ginobili. I'm not. Ginobili was an incredible passer. Ginobili could handle himself defensively. He wasn't getting picked up and abused like Cam Thomas. Yeah. And he was obviously a much, much better passer and playmaker.
I mean, in 07 and 08, he averaged 31.1 minutes per game. That's roughly around the lines that Cam Thomas had as a starter. So can we really call that a 6-man?
But he's coming off how many games? He probably started less
but you can come off. Yeah, but you could come off of the bench, but you can play starter minutes and play late down the stretch in the starting rotation. No, like what's
right, and that's what I'm saying. But he's still. But we're saying like he's not. He's the 6th man, but he's not the 6th best player on the team. He's much more valuable than the 6th best player on the team.
All right. So for example, if you put Cam Thomas on the Clippers right now, what option is he? You have James Harden ahead of him. You have Kawhi ahead of him.
I agree. It's going to be a struggle.
You have Zubac ahead of him in terms of impact on winning.
I agree. It's going to be a struggle for him on some of these loaded teams who have a bunch of good offensive players.
And that's the thing, though. Those are the contending teams, right? Like if you're comparing contending teams, we can go down the list and we can say what option he'll be on every single one. Like, you know what? Like he's not going to be anywhere in the top 3 on any of these contending teams. We can go down the list.
Okay, in terms of a score, like who's the guys?
No, we're talking about in terms of impact on winning. That includes scoring, defense, playmaking. Everything that needs to be done to win basketball games. Because, again, I don't care about scoring. I don't give a shit if you average 50. If you're losing 55-plus games a season, it means nothing. It absolutely means nothing.
If that's the case, then Orlando should just win the championship this year, right? Because they have everything.
I think Orlando has a great shot to win the championship.
Of winning the championship?
Desmond Bain, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner,
Paulo
Banchero, Wendell Carter.
They got everything down. I agree
they
that
have a great all-around roster.
And they're going to compete, and maybe they can get.
I think they're going to compete, yes. I don't think they win a championship this year because it's their first year together. They have to mesh. It's the same year. It's the same thing with Boston when they got Derek White and Porzingis the first year. They didn't win it. Porzingis was hurt, no? Or did they win the first year that they got Derek White?
No, Derek White's first year. Because remember, Derek White put him in Game 7 against Miami, and they lost Game 7. Remember, he got the offensive rebound and put it back in at the buzzer to force Game 7. So Derek White's first year.
We'll do. We're here for a top 5 pick next yeer. I like answering these here real quickly. All right, let me go in order. Cavs, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. Right? Cam Thomas is the top 3 option on that.
He's not the top 5. Yeah, yeah.
Boston,
okay,
Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Right? Do you want to add this past year's team? We'll just consider it off of last year's team. So Porzingis.
No, I get I get your point.
Do you want to go with the Knicks? Because I know you hate Mikal. I'm taking Brunson. I'm taking OG. I'm taking Cat. I'm taking Mikal.
I'm not taking Mikal, but
I'm taking Mitchell Robinson in terms of impact on winning as an option.
Well, see, all right, like that's intriguing though, because like just Mitchell Robinson plays a role. He plays that role exceptionally well, but he is just as limited as Cam Thomas is. He just has a different skill set. He can block shots and get offensive rebounds, right? Cam Thomas is just as good at what Cam Thomas does as Mitchell Robinson does at what Mitchell Robinson does, right? It's just they do two very different things. Mitchell Robinson is elite at what he does.
Yeah. Cam Thomas is on the borderline of an all-star.
To me, it's like, well, what do you want more, your mom or your dad? Well, no, I actually need both of them, right? It's like, would I rather have Mitchell Robinson or Cam Thomas? Well, I actually need both of them. Like, yeah. I can't really replace what. To me, Mitchell Robinson is harder to replace than Mikal Bridges. So if I were the Knicks and I had to lose one of them, I would lose Bridges before I lost Mitchell Robinson. How many guys?
But I'm still taking
the paint and
still taking 5-6 players in the Knicks over Cam Thomas in terms of value. In terms of value of winning. But that's also the thing, too. You've stated it numerous times. You have to play a role to win a basketball game. Cam Thomas does not play a role. He scores. That's not a role. He loses. But he loses. His role he loses in. So it's like, what is his role? He's a losing scorer.
Hang on.
Because now we're going to go into the roster, right?
Kevin Love played a role with Minnesota and put up phenomenal numbers, 25 and 15, 50, 40, like crazy numbers. People said he was like one of the best power forwards in basketball. Played a role on a team.
He was dominant. He was dominant at what he did.
And he played on a team that sucked.
He was not borderline
star. So was he a losing player? Because as soon as he went to a good team, he was a major piece on a team that won.
Exactly, you know major piece, but not the first, not the second, probably not even the third option. Kevin Love in Cleveland.
Kevin Love on the championship team was still a hell of a player.
A hell of a player, but he's not a 1 through 3 option. Probably.
He was a third option. Who was the third option on that
Smith,
team?
They had. Who else did they have on that team? They had Tristan Thompson manning the paint down low. Like they had options. In terms of scoring, maybe Kevin Love, you could say, was his third, but what was his averages over in Cleveland? Probably less than 16.
He was still an all-star with Cleveland. I think you're. Was
he an all-star in Cleveland?
Yeah, Kevin Love was a hell of a player, man. But he got a reputation too. He's a guy that puts up numbers on a bad team, and then he went to a good team.
Because almost every player in basketball can put up those types of numbers on a bad team. Yeah, his production dropped from 26.
You know who can't? Mikal Bridges can't. That's who couldn't do it. Let me see.
Mikal maintained his 17.5 points per game, his league efficient 3-point shooting, and his perimeter defense. He's been able to stick with it the entire time. Yeah, you can consider Kevin Love the third option scorer in Cleveland. He dropped from 26 points per game in 2013 with Minnesota. His final year there, he dropped all the way down to 16 points per game for 2014 and 2015.
Right. 16. So his 4 years with LeBron in Cleveland, he did 16, 16, 19, and 17 and a half. Two-time All-Star. The rebounds dropped also, but he's still
but a big-time production drop. You know what I mean? But you're also talking about a guy who is elite and dominant at what he did on a bad team, not a guy who was a borderline star at one thing on a bad team. Like, again, it's like these comparisons are out of this world of how much we're trying to overvalue him when it's a very replaceable player. 6'3", undersized shooting guard, no second aspect to his game. You can find that anywhere. You truly can. You're going to see it this year with Michael Porter Jr. 6'10", above average rebounder, and he'll probably put up 20-plus points per game as well.
This is how you know I'm not biased, right? I hate Gary for being biased. Last week, I was the Cam Thomas hater. This week, I'm the Cam Thomas stan who's biased in favor of Cam Thomas. Like, guys, you got to make up your mind. Am I the Cam Thomas hater who didn't even want to sign him to anything and just let him go?
I agree.
Because that's where I was. That's where I still am. But now I'm being biased in favor of Cam. Right? This is how you can tell.
My stance has been the same the entire time.
Conversation, I get accused of being a Cam Thomas stan and a Cam Thomas hater. But
my stance has been the same the entire time. Don't overpay for somebody that's replaceable, but I want to see him back. It's really not hard or difficult to understand. Come back, do it on a contract that's being given, or get traded. Request a trade. Nobody's overpaying for you. Nobody's going to trade a high value package for you. It doesn't matter. It truly does not matter. So either come back or stop crying and request a trade. You're not getting more money anywhere else or here. It's just not happening.
Right. It's a bad year to be a free agent. And that's why I'm saying, like, just take the qualifying offer, play yourself out of that contract, and then try to.
Why? We've been over this. There's 2 teams with cap space next year.
Yeah, but we
He's not
got
working his way into any contract.
some team could make a major trade like this. We're talking about what's a year away. A lot can change in the NBA in a year. Like we're talking about
9 times out of 10, a sign and trade is negative value. 9 times out of 10, a sign and trade, you're not getting the full extent value of what a player is worth. Why would the Nets sit there and lose a player for less value than what they feel that they can, even if he does earn the contract? You know what I mean? Like, he's going to have to sign somewhere in free agency. Somebody's going to have to clear up money for him. Nobody's going to do that for Cam Thomas. Name me a team that's going to openly go out of their way that has cap space next year. Because the 2 teams is Brooklyn and Washington. Do you see any of those teams?
I'd have to go through the teams and say like
every other team's negative in cap space currently, until further notice.
This I don't know. I guess I'm getting to the point where I'm just saying that I guess he should take the money. $14 million is still not a little bit of money. It just you're making a good argument here.
I was going to say, can I bring logic to this comment as well? Nick Claxton had Memphis and Detroit going for him. Detroit gave him the same offer that Brooklyn ended up giving him. It's called market. It's not hard to understand. It's truly not. Cam Johnson had a market for him. Nick Claxton had a market for him.
Who was? Hang on. I'm with you, Claxton. Who else was offering Cam Johnson a contract like
Memphis
that?
was going after him. I believe. Who else was going after him?
I don't remember. Was this a few years ago? I don't remember. I don't remember other. I remember looking at his contract and asking the same question: why no one else was offering him money?
No, there was teams offering him money. I remember a couple of things. I think Toronto was another team that was looking at him. Houston. Detroit, let's see. Houston considered potential targets for Johnson, given their cap space and need for the players to aid their rebuild. However, the Rockets ultimately went in a different direction in free agency. Detroit Pistons, according to reports, the Pistons viewed Johnson as a top target. Other teams, trying to find some more teams. Yeah, Toronto, Detroit, Houston, Memphis. He had suitors. Every player that has been signed to a long-term deal on this team has had suitors. Cam Thomas does not have a suitor. There is no physical team in this current free agency market that has money. There's no current team in the NBA that wants to currently trade for him. You can call me biased all you want, but I'm bringing you facts. It's just, I mean, come on and join if you want to debate it. It's not difficult to understand, unless if you don't understand the game.
No, I agree that there's no other suitors. To me, if I'm Cam Thomas, I'm still. It's going to be hard for me to swallow that I'm signing this contract. I'm way undervalued here. I'm not selling myself short. I'm going to do what Jalen Brunson did in Dallas. I'm going to play 1 year on a contract where I'm very underpaid, and I'm going to play myself into the contract that he got himself with the Knicks. That if I'm Cam Thomas,
feel free, but the teams had cap space that year. Again, it goes back to the Nets and Wizards are the only 2 teams with extended cap space to sign players. So again, go ahead, do it, because you're going to be in the same situation next year, just this time as an unrestricted free agent, and you're going to look dumber for it. Go for it. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not sitting here next year trying to watch Cam Thomas. I'm sitting here to watch the development of the players and hopefully land a top 5 pick. Cam Thomas isn't a priority to me anymore. He hasn't been a priority to me yet this entire time. He got drafted 27th overall. Guys like that are replaceable, especially when you're entering year 5. I don't care for the excuses. He is entering year 5. He got drafted 5 years ago. That does not change. Year 5, and this is what he is. Same thing with Nick Claxton. He got his contract. We all didn't like it. And he is what he is 2 years later. He's 2 years older than Cam Thomas. How much more progress do you think that player's got?
No, look, I don't think Cam Thomas is going to make leaps and strides. I've been saying this for years now. Cam Thomas, he is what he is, right? I am what I am, right? Like Popeye says, he is what he is. That's it. But we just value that differently, and it is what it is. I would rather value a guy that can take over a game and can win me. He can lose me a game too. He can absolutely shoot me out of a game, shoot me out of a series. But I'd rather roll the dice on a guy. That
he loses at a 3. He loses at a practically 3 out of 4 clip. Historically, he's 29-51 in his career as a starter.
Yeah,
congrats.
I can make all the same arguments about a lot of guys who play on bad teams, right? I'm not saying that Cam Thomas is a franchise-changing player. I'm not saying you're a bad team, now you get Cam Thomas and have a direction. I'm saying if he's a third or a fourth best player on a team, then $14 million is a drastic underpay. We just saw Mikal Bridges, who's probably the sixth or seventh best player on his team, get $37 million.
He's 4.
We just said Mitchell Robinson is more valuable than him.
I didn't say that. I said Mitchell Robinson is more valuable than Cam Thomas. In terms of what he does
if you took Mitchell Robinson off the Knicks last year, they lose to Boston. They probably lose to Detroit. If you take Mikal Bridges off the Knicks, they're exactly the same
Boston.
Team. They do not lose to Boston. He was
the last
so bad
2 possessions of the game for the first 2 games. He single-handedly won them on the defensive end.
But the game's not 2 possessions. When you go 1 for 12, you're shooting your team out of the game. Like anyone can do that. Like the first 46 minutes of the game also count. They do. It's not like he made what. It's like if Cam Thomas shoots 1 of 17 and then makes the game-winning basket, he did not win you the game. You won in spite of him. Right? You can't say,
Hold on, we got to pull up another stupidity comment. Here we go. In 2023, when Cam Thomas began starting games, he was playing alongside James Harden. Or I'm sorry, no, he was playing alongside Ben Simmons, who didn't play, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, they were traded. You had Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Nick Claxton, all of which still maintained a playoff seed and lost. So he started on teams who have had minimal success and still did nothing. 29-51. I rest my case once again. 3-0 against John today. I gotta say, we gotta come up with some better debating topics because this isn't difficult. Because last year, I mean, I'll call it out how it is. Last year we were all for tanking. Then 3 months after, it was all for Giannis. Then it was all for tanking again, and now it's all for going all in. What are you going all in with? I need to hear this one.
This is extraordinary. I was just biased in front of kids. This was 10 minutes ago. I was biased. Now I'm a hater.
I like how we're riling up.
You gotta make up your mind here, bro. Which one? You gotta pick a side here. Am I a Cam Thomas hater or am I a biased Cam Thomas stan? You gotta make up your mind here. Robinson was a game changer in the Celtics. Yeah, Robinson can impact the game. Mitchell Robinson is a guy that you win because of. Mikal Bridges is a guy that you win with. There's a big difference. A guy you win because of and a guy that you win with.
I wouldn't say you win games because of Mitchell Robinson.
I would argue the point.
I wouldn't say the same thing about Mikal Bridges either. I just want to put that out there. I don't think those are guys that definitively impact the game of winning on their own.
I think we can definitively say, without a shadow of a doubt, Mikal Bridges makes no impact on winning, and we saw that with the Nets. None. Zero. They'd be just as bad with him as they were without him.
But so does Cam Thomas. like what are we like? Like we have no debate point here.
All right, then their value is about the same.
No, one plays defense and can't win on their own, but also is a third, fourth option scorer and impact winner.
When Cam Johnson got here, we were told that he played defense. He did not.
No, he didn't.
Same thing with Bridges.
Yeah, but Mikal Bridges also finished top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting that year when we got him.
What was that?
The year after we got Mikal Bridges, he finished top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year standings.
What does that
mean?
What does that mean about it?
That means that he was a good defender.
Does it? By what standard?
We've already had this debate. When you have to come somewhere where you have to double your offensive production, you're going to see more fatigue on both ends of the floor. What is more cost-effective on your body?
Was he a good defender with the Knicks last year, or did he get bullied by every big guard? Does Jaylen Brown lick his lips when he sees he's got a one-on-one with Mikal Bridges? Like, he's not good. Like, could he handle
his defense has dropped off for sure, but it still has won them games. You get a block at the end of the game. That's not your defense winning you. That's games. A moment. That's a clutch.
You had a moment.
That's my point. Those clutch moments is what wins you games. I would rather a guy shoot 1 of 12 and win me a game at the end of the game, whether that's a buzzer beater or that's a block.
I'd rather
a guy that gives 25 a game and does nothing.
I'd rather him just shoot 6 of 12 and us roll by 10.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I would love for every player in the NBA on my team to shoot above league average. We all would.
There was a play at the end of the game where Bridges made a block. Okay, therefore he won you the game.
Yes.
That's extraordinary to me. Like
Without that
that's
block,
extraordinarily.
and if that shot goes in, what happens? Do
We
win
can
or
say
lose?
that it's a one possession game. We can literally say that about any play that happened throughout the course of that game.
You can, 100%. But that's how you win games. You need players to step up in moments. Look at the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving series, for example.
How come Mikal Bridges didn't win all these games with the Nets?
But think about it in this sense: Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving went up against.
I'll address this, but I want to answer that question.
Okay, what's the question?
Yeah, how come Mikal Bridges didn't win all these games with the Nets? If he's such an impactful piece, how come he didn't win games with the Nets?
Considerably in year one, he still managed to maintain a playoff record.
Did they drop?
We did drop. Okay. Yeah, that's what happens when you lose two top 10, top 15 players in basketball.
So he dropped off precipitously. And how many games did the Nets win in the playoffs?
0.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
How many playoff series wins does Cam Thomas have as a none? Because the guy's never been there. I don't know what our debate point is here. What I was going to ask is, I don't even know what I was going to ask now. What did I start off with?
You were trying to say something about Durant and Irving, and then
when you had KD and Kyrie in the Boston series when we lost, you can say the same thing, but you're like Kyrie Irving is in the post with Jason Tatum and lets up a spinning, floating layup to win the game. Like, yeah, that's a moment. He wasn't able to defend him. Mikal Bridges has shown flashes of being able to defend people in big moments. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. You put Mikal Bridges in that situation over Kyrie Irving, who knows if he's able to spin and hit that layup over him. I'm not saying Mikal Bridges and Kevin Durant wins you more games against the Celtics that year, but the point is those are the types of situations where you want certain players, and Mikal Bridges has stepped up in those situations and has proven to be that player that can be clutch on the defensive end. You know what I mean? That's where I see that value. That's where I see that impact.
And he's also shown to be faulty over the course of a season, over the course of a game. He's not a good defender.
There's going to be problems over a season.
Luka, sure. He's not getting cooked. He's not Cam Thomas. He's not getting picked on and ISO'd and matchup hunted for. But he's also not a very good defender. He's not. Is
he an elite defender anymore? No. Was he at one point? Yes. Is he a good defender? Yes. Is he a bad defender now? No.
Is he a bad defender? Probably not a bad defender.
He's above it. He's still a good defender. He's not average. He's not below average. He's not bad. He is still a good defender.
Would
he's
you
6'6",
say that
6'7", and lengthy? That you can't be a bad defender with that build. You can't.
Tyrese Halliburton?
He is a 6'5" point guard.
And he's long, and he's a bad defender.
He's a solid perimeter defender in terms of closing out on shots, but yeah, he can't guard you. Well, he's a solid closeout defender in terms of guarding the perimeter, but outside of that, no. But again, you're talking about a point guard. I would need a wing.
Yeah, is Cam Johnson a bad defender?
Is he a bad defender? No. Is he an average defender? Yes. Most guys with that height,
maybe I'm just being hard because I watch these guys every single game, right? So maybe I'm being hard on.
So did I. I mean, I can't see where the value of a 6'6" to 6'8" wing could ever be considered a horrible defender. It's not usually possible. Unless if you're Kwame Brown. That guy sucks.
Who's a better defender, Zaire or Bridges?
Bridges.
Oh, stop.
Seriously?
And again, it's a far different role because one guy plays 15 minutes and the guy plays 40 or whatever the hell Tibbs had him play. But Zaire hounds you the entire course of every moment he's out there.
That's like saying who's a better defender, Mikal Bridges or Keon Johnson. You can hound somebody all you want, but are you winning games because of your defense?
This thing where he got a block at the end of a game does not mean you won the game on defense.
That's exactly what that means. The buzzer stopped because he blocked the ball.
You can literally say that about any play that happened that game. Like any play that happened that game in a one possession game, you can say I won that game because of him. Like that's not a logical argument. Like I think can literally say that about any play in the game. How come he just doesn't do that? If he could just win a game on defense, how come he just
say that? I'm not debating that you can say that you can say that example for anybody in the league. You can. But again, any play,
a guy that came in with 3 seconds to go in a half and play defense for one possession at the end of the first half. You can say that guy won the game in the first half by making a stop. We won by one possession.
Let me give you another example. Would you say Peyton Pritchard is a winning basketball player? Is he a top 3-4 option on the Celtics as of last year when they had their team?
The first half of that question is kind of
Point is
the second half, yes, he's a very good basketball player, and he's one of the better players
the
on
year
Boston.
that they made the finals and won it, he came in 3 or 4 different times with 3 seconds on the clock and hit half court, full court, or clutch threes, correct?
Yes.
That was his impact. That's what helped navigate them to win games.
How tall
you can
is
have
Pritchard?
moments.
6'2"?
Moments
How
are
big
still
is Pritchard?
impactful.
6'1", 6'2"? How big is Pritchard?
Yeah, he's like 6'1".
He is far more valuable and better at every single aspect of basketball than Mikal Bridges. Like, to me, to compare those two,
we'll find out this year because he's going to be starting. We'll find out this year.
We'll find out this year. If you can name one thing on a basketball court that Bridges does better than Pritchard, I'll listen.
I'll tell you right now.
And this is a guy that's 6'1". Like, Peyton Pritchard's a hell of a basketball player. Mikal Bridges is basically useless. But he got a block at the end of a game. I get it. I know. He got a block, right? It's like you get the rebound and you say, I won the game because I got the rebound. It's like, okay. They could have put it back in. Okay. How come he doesn't make winning plays the other 47 and a half minutes of the game?
All right, so Mikal Bridges averaged 3 more points per game than Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard as a 6'1" backup point guard averaged 3.5 assists to Mikal Bridges' 3.7 assists. Somehow he's a better playmaker in that aspect.
Are we doing by 30 per 36? Or are we doing over? Because you love the per 36. Are we doing per 36?
We can. I can pull up the per 36. That's probably a different story, but I was just going based on last year's impact. Let's see. Pritchard's per 36 will probably look slightly better. I still don't think he beats him out in points, though. If I could type correctly.
So you're telling me you think Bridges is a better scorer?
For the role that he plays, yeah. Yeah.
So, okay.
As you claim, he could potentially be the 6th option in New York, right? That's what you claim.
Say a sentence out loud. Mikal Bridges is a better corner 3 shooter than Peyton Pritchard.
No.
That's the role that he played. That is his entire role in the Knicks, to shoot corner 3s. And he's not good at it.
I wouldn't say it's his entire role because, again, his 3-point percentage was 35% last year, but his field goal percentage was 50, and he averaged 17.5 points. Clearly, he's scoring from other aspects of the floor. He plays the most minutes, so on the secondary unit, he's still playing. He's not playing next to Brunson for some of these minutes in the game. That's where he's starting to put the ball on the floor and hit the mid-range shot.
We saw his role in the playoffs, and he sat in the corner and missed threes, and that's what he does. He sits in the corner in the playoffs. You're right. In the regular season, the second unit over the course of the season, yeah, he probably does more. In the playoffs, we saw what he did, which was stand in the corner and be a very bad shooter and get beat up on defense. That's your role. It's like, I don't really value that. I don't want to get too hung up. I don't want to go off on a tangent. I do want to bring this back to Cam Thomas real quick. So a couple of weeks ago, we had this big debate where I was the only guy that said there's no point in bringing Cam Thomas back. I don't think his trade market is out there. If someone offered him a similar contract, $14 million contract. If someone else offered that contract, at this point, would you resign him or would you just let him go, knowing you have no plans for him?
Unfortunately, I can't answer it to the way that you want me to because there's no hypothetical world where a team has the money to give him a similar contract. Yeah, this is where the problem lies. It's like you have to use what we have currently and build your hypothesis or whatever you want to call it, your predictions, whatever. You have to build it off of that. Right now, no team in the NBA has cap space. No team in the league has offered him a contract. The Nets have offered him a contract. Cam Thomas hasn't taken the contract. Next year, he wants to bet on himself and opt out so he can be an unrestricted free agent potentially by accepting the qualifying offer. Next year's free agency, the only 2 teams with cap space are the Nets and the Wizards. That's what we're working with right now. And that's why I keep saying on both ends of this situation, on Cam Thomas's side and on the Nets side of things, there's 2 simple solutions. A, suck it up and take your contract, or B, request a trade because clearly you don't want to be there on cheap money and cheap years, and clearly the organization doesn't value it. Those are the only 2 scenarios that make sense. That's how that works.
It's frustrating because we have a guy that I think has value. The franchise that he's on doesn't value him, and clearly he's fed up with the franchise. He's not a game-changing player. He doesn't have a ton of trade value. Why is he here? What would be the upside of bringing him back? I'm being serious. If we don't like him, we acknowledge he's not a franchise-changing player. We don't value him. We don't like him. He doesn't want to be here. We really can't trade him for much. Why bring him back?
I don't know.
This is where I've been for weeks now, and I'm not trying to. Now I'm gonna be a Cam Thomas hater again.
Now you're gonna be called the flip flopper.
Yeah, they don't value him. He's not that good. It's not like, well, he's got value and we can trade him even if he doesn't, like Bradley Beal with Washington. Like, we can definitely trade him. He doesn't have that kind of value. No one really wants him. There's no trade market for him. Someone will give him an MLE, so he'll get a contract somewhere, right? Just let him go. There's no point in bringing him back. Let's take that money. And this is not me. This is not what I would do. But knowing what we know, living in reality, that the Nets don't want him, they don't value him, he doesn't want to be here. All right, go ahead, go. Like, let's just cut ties. We'll cut this off. It didn't work out. It was a wasted pick, and we'll just go shop elsewhere.
I agree. At this point, like how you saw it with KD, not a single person in the fan base wanted to trade him. We all wanted to trade Nick Claxton and the Cam Thomases to go and get a secondary star for him so he can stay here, right? We can all agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same situation. What's mutually best for the organization is not what half the fan base is going to want. We can all admit and agree that since trading Kevin Durant, we now have the most draft capital in basketball with a better direction than we did if we had just kept Kevin Durant. We can all agree on that, correct?
In theory.
We're in a clear direction. We're in a clear direction of rebuilding, correct? We have the draft capital to do so, correct? That doesn't mean we hit on the picks. That doesn't mean Sean Marks is a genius. That doesn't mean Sean Marks does it correctly. But we have the foundation to do it correctly, right?
Sure. Yes. The
basis of it
the
is
direction is clear. It's just, can you execute it? Can you execute the blueprint? Right.
Exactly.
Sure.
And that's solely on him. But the Kevin Durant trade situation, you would say that was a major win for the Nets, right? Being able to get this much draft capital, if you see the entire diagram of trading KD, then to trading Mikal, then to trading Cam Johnson, all of the things that we've gotten back in return since moving on from Kevin Durant, all of these things have been of value, right? 2032 Denver pick.
My instinct is to say no, right? That's a loss.
But based on one bad draft class without them even playing NBA games. Yeah.
My instinct would be to say no, that's a loss because you got no good basketball players. You got you got not a single good basketball player for trading Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. You got zero good basketball players. That is extraordinary. But I look at what Houston did in the Harden trade, and they were able to rebuild quickly because they hit on the picks. So then now I'm going to all right, maybe it is a win in retrospect. I don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air. I'll concede, and I don't really believe this in my heart of hearts yet, that I'll say the Kevin Durant trade, big picture wise, was a win for the Nets, even though I'm not truly convinced of that. But let's say it's true. Let's say I agree to it. Go ahead.
And that's my point, is when these types of situations come up where you don't want to do something, but it's what's best for the organization. It's the same thing with the player side of things. Kevin Durant wanted to stay in Brooklyn. He had wanted to. That's why he signed the extension. Kyrie fucked a lot of things up. They got to a point where they tried to make moves to keep KD happy and keep him here, but they both came to the table and said, what's best for the organization, what's best for me as a player are two different things. Send me here, get what you need to get back, and let's move on mutually. And it worked out, and that's why KD still talks highly of the Nets. It needs to be the same situation with Cam Thomas. If you can't meet in the middle on a negotiation, or if he can't suck it up and take the contract to prove himself, then you need to do what's best for your organization, which is letting go of the guy who is trying to hold you back and stay on track. It's really that simple. And also put him in a situation that's going to help him long-term too, which is why I still continuously say teams like Milwaukee, Miami, and Detroit. Detroit has an immediate fit for him right now. Milwaukee, Giannis and him share an agent. He has an immediate fit as a secondary scoring option there on a playoff team. Miami, one of the best developmental staffs in basketball. All three of those teams have things that the Nets want.
Miami's not touching him. Miami's not going anywhere near
I know he doesn't fit the description of a Miami player, but who knows what they want? I mean, Pat Riley's just horrible at what he does over the past couple of years. Who knows if he switches it up? I mean, shit, he's shown interest in Bradley Beal. He apparently loved Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? So who knows? But those are the three teams that I would look to do something with. Yes, Lou, that's exactly what I'm saying pretty much in retrospect. I don't care. What are you going to do? You're supposed to sit there, get paid, and play basketball. I don't need to hear all the other antics. Sorry.
This KD trade was a win thing. I'm still like, I understand the argument.
Yeah.
When you trade one of the 20, 25, whatever you want to rank, greatest basketball players who have ever lived, and you get no good basketball players in return, it's hard for me to call that a win. You got Mikal Bridges and Cam
When you're in the midst of a rebuilding season, I don't want good players in return. I want the most draft capital possible.
Well, no, I want a young player who I can start to build around.
Think about it this way, right? And the NFL does this pretty perfect in terms of how they set up their trades. The NBA, it's never like 3 players for 3 players, right? It's never right. It's not like Matthew Stafford for Patrick Mahomes, but if you add 2 first-round picks to Matthew Stafford, you'll get Patrick Mahomes. That's not how those things work. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give up your first, second, third round picks, for the next 4 years to get a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Even then, it's probably not possible. That's where I value draft capital and trades more than I do players. If you're trying to retool the roster and compete still, then I would understand that. They tried to provide that as false hope to us, which we all knew from the start was never going to work. I had said it from the moment that we got Mikal Bridges, even after the 24 points per game, that he wasn't going to be anything special, right? Everybody was thinking we had gotten our star from a trade. No, you're just blind. All right? It's the same thing in that aspect. If you're rebuilding, I want picks. If you're retooling, okay, go out and get a young player who has the chance to be something. And if you're just trading a superstar because they're unhappy and you still want to compete for a championship, okay, then go for the big player. But we were trying to rebuild. So the package that we got back in return for him was exceptional.
Were they trying to rebuild, or were they trying to make the playoffs when they made the Kevin Durant trade?
I think they were trying to rebuild. They just didn't want to say it out loud yet. I'm getting a call real quick. Let me just put myself on mute.
All right. To me, I still feel like the Nets were trying to make the playoffs. They were trying to compete. And you saw that the next year when they kept Dinwiddie and they tried to win with Dinwiddie and Ben Simmons and I guess Royce O'Neal was still on that team and all those guys. They were still trying to win. I think Sean Marks was so incompetent and so incapable that he looked at Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and said, "Oh, these are good players. These are borderline all-stars. I can win with these guys." No, those guys are basically useless. Cam Johnson's a little bit less useless because at least he's a good shooter. Mikal Bridges is entirely useless. I see no use in him at all. To me, I value Mikal Bridges in the same breath that Sean Marks values Cam Thomas, which is to say, I don't value him at all. I think he's just completely replaceable. I think he's a better shooter than Keon Johnson, and that's the major difference. It's slightly better. Like I just don't. I look at this is not a good player. But to bring this back to Cam Thomas, you're still going to have to figure out something to do with the extra money. You have to spend the money. The money's not going to Cam Thomas, right? We're not giving Cam, in during the season and stuff, we talked about the Nets offering Cam Thomas a $20 to $22 million contract, 24, I don't know, whatever, 20 to 24, probably around 22 is kind of the number we all agreed on. That's not going to happen. I don't think he's going to take the $14 million a year contract. I think that you've now played yourself into a position. You've played yourself into a position where you're stuck now. And I feel I don't know what the right thing to do here. If you don't want Cam Thomas, you don't want Cam Thomas. But now he's going to take the qualifying offer for $6 million. He could turn down any trade. You can't just turn around and trade him. So now you're stuck with Cam Thomas, who, despite what Dylan says, Cam Thomas is going to help you win more games. So he's going to help you win more games, hurt your draft stock, and then leave in the offseason, and you can't trade him. So I honestly, and Mark, if you're in here and you want to join us, let us know. I think Sean Marks has fumbled this as badly as he could. You can't trade Cam Thomas if and I think Cam Thomas is going to take the qualifying offer. He's going to help you win games, and you can't trade him, and he's going to leave. So you're going to get nothing for him. He's going to make your draft pick worse, and you got nothing for him. It's the absolute worst possible scenario you could have came up with. you might as well just give him $20 million a year for 2 years. He would have signed it. You're not doing anything else with that money anyway. So why not just give it to Cam? If you know what I'm saying, you're gonna lose, and then maybe if you would have given him the $20 million a year, maybe you could have traded him, maybe. But the 2-year deal is going to expire the same time as Porter's contract anyway. When you're looking to compete, this was handled as poorly as possible. If you didn't want him, you should have just let him go. There's no one else that can give him a bag. There's no other offers out. If you give him the qualifying offer, you're stuck with him. You don't want him. And this has been my point since the beginning. If he takes the qualifying offer, you're stuck with him and you're getting nothing for him, and he's leaving at the end of the year. What's the point of having him? You don't want him. He's only going to help you win games. You're going to win far more games with Cam Thomas than without him. He's a guy that can win you games on his own. He can go for 40 and you can win. If you're truly looking to tank, and you're truly looking to get Peterson or Boozer or whoever you like in next year's draft, having Cam Thomas on this roster gets you further from that goal, not closer. So what's the point of bringing him back? Let me get to some of these. Kyle Kuzma is garbage, but that's probably all you can get back for a CT at the moment. If you trade him to you can't trade him to the Bucks. You can't trade him anywhere because he's going to be on a qualifying offer. You can't trade him. So now you're stuck with him. If you took the $14 million deal, you could trade him, but you can't trade him right now. There's no point in having him on qualifying offer. You're 100%. Sean Marks fumbled the bag. He fumbled this as badly as you could. You can't trade him right now. You're stuck with him, and he's going to win you a bunch of games. Without Cam Thomas on this team, you're looking at a horrendous team. With Cam Thomas, they move from horrendous to bad. And bad's probably not going to be good enough to get you a top 3 pick. Unless the NBA hooks you up. And we already saw that the NBA is not hooking you up. I think the Nets are going to win 24 games. So they're going to be in a similar position as last year. I think they're going to, a lot of things broke right. But Cam Thomas only played 25 games last year. Cam Thomas is going to play 65, 70 games this year. They're going to win a bunch of those games. They're going to win 24 games, and they're going to be picking 5 or 6 again. And it's like, okay. Let me see. How are you saying that money? How are you using the money if we let CT go for nothing? To me, I love Josh Giddey as a player. It's a good question. You're not getting Kuminga or Giddey. Why are you not getting Kuminga? Why could you not turn around and give that money to Kuminga? I disagree. You're saying it as though it's a done deal already. Well, what am I saying? Is a done deal already? I'm not completely following you. Mark, you want to hop on? I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Anyone want to hop on? Mark, I'm gonna give you the link. I agree. You have to do something with the money. You're not giving the money to Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is not taking the $14 million a year deal. Even if you give him the $14 million a year deal, you still have a ton of cap space. What are you doing with it? Whether or not you sign Cam Thomas to the $6 million qualifying offer, you still have a huge chunk of change there, a huge chunk of money. You still have to decide what you're doing with it. My man. What up, Mark?
Long time no speak. What's going on, Gary? How you doing, brother?
It's good. I'm good, man. How have you been? How is Sean Marks, the leader of the Sean Marks fan club, doing?
Nah. Don't label me that. But what I was saying was I disagree pretty much how you said, like, it's a done deal already. Like he already fumbled it. It's still a lot it's still a negotiation, brother. It's still a negotiation. Things could change like that,
All right. Do you think that Cam Thomas is going to accept that offer? 2 years for $14 million per?
Personally, I think Cam's best option is to negotiate the best deal he can with the Nets. I don't think that he has a market. I think that he has the injuries the last 2 seasons. He's viewed as one-dimensional by some. I'm not saying I feel that way, but many who cut the checks feel that way. So, that's the reality. And he has to prove them wrong. He has to prove, not them, just one person has to give him the contract. So it's not a majority that he has to convince. He just has to convince one person. But
I agree. It takes
as it
one
stands,
team out of 30.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Your market is what one team is willing to offer you. OG
Yeah.
Anunoby wasn't worth 200 million, but the Knicks were willing to go that length to keep him. So that's what his market was. The market is what dictates the contract, not the player. I mean, if you're undisputable all star, all NBA superstar, selling jerseys, packing out arenas, you know, you can't dispute that. But we could all agree he's not on that level yet. Maybe he can be, but he's not that guy now. And where's
Let
the
me
market?
let me ask you this question though. If Cam Thomas goes out the season, averages 25 or more a game, 45, 35, 85 shooting, ups his assists from 3 to 4, goes back, tests free agency next year. I know Dylan's going to say there's nobody out there to give him money besides the Nets and the Wizards. All right, maybe he's right. But do you think it's worth him to try to risk that and then play himself into the contract that he wants?
But here's where Cam Thomas, like, it sucks because it's just the business of basketball. Why are the Nets playing Cam Thomas if he's not going to be a long term piece? Why are we going to prioritize playing uh, Drake Powell, Tariq Whitehead, Terrence Mann, who's on a 3-year contract? You know what I mean? Give Yegor some looks at the 2. Like, what? Why are we going to invest the time and the playing time and just the role, and just when it could be put to better use?
Well, I've been saying this for a minute. Why are you bringing him back then?
Hey, I agree. I agree. I agree. If you don't, if he's not your long term guy, why are you using him in the interim while you could be using that run on guys who are a part of your long term plan? So it's just a matter of what I think. Ultimately, I think just from a negotiation standpoint, I don't see a better offer than what the Nets could do. And if they do, then the Nets ultimately have the right to match it. So it's Cam's is in a fucked up spot. It's just what it is. That's restricted free agency. It's not the first time it's happened that way, but until a team is willing to offer you X amount of dollars and you're happy, and otherwise, it's prove it. But they have to give you the platform to prove it. So it's just messy. So ultimately, what I think is he just takes the best deal that the Nets ultimately end up putting in front of him before training camp, or a mystery team comes out as a sign and trade option. But I don't see that happen. The qualifying offer makes little sense for both sides. So I don't see that being the case.
If Cam Thomas takes it, he can really stick it to the Nets. He can.
They got to play him. I mean, he can in theory, yeah, but he would have to. They would have to play him the minutes to allow him to stick it to them.
But they can't trade him, right? So, like, what I'm saying is, if he takes the qualifying offer, which was offered to him, right? Um, if he takes it, then they're gonna play him, but then they can't trade him, and then they're gonna lose him. Like it screws the Nets a lot more if he takes the qualifying
I don't
offer
think
than
it
it
screws the
screws
Nets
him.
more than it does Cam Thomas, because Cam
Right.
Thomas is the guy who's laboring for the contract. The Nets are still going to be the Nets, whether they're messy situation, as many see them as, or a up and coming team on the verge of pulling it around. Whatever the case may be, Cam Thomas is the one that's trying to get paid, not the Nets.
Cam Thomas, they're gonna play him, and Cam Thomas, you're gonna win a lot more games with Cam Thomas than you are without Cam Thomas. So Cam
Yes,
Thomas,
yes. You have
you
a better
can't.
likelihood of winning a game with Cam Thomas playing rather than if without Cam Thomas playing. Yes.
So if Cam Thomas comes back on the qualifying offer, they
But
can't
what?
trade him. Hang on,
Why are
hang
they
on,
gonna?
hang on.
Why are they gonna
Let me.
play him though?
I mean, you're going to give him the qualifying offer, which you offered him, and then not play him.
I don't see why you play him.
Why did you offer the qualifying offer then, though? Like, this doesn't make.
It's negotiation. I hear what you're saying. It's
was fumbled every step of the way.
So I just got back. I wasn't listening for a while, and I just want to make sure I'm getting this straight. Mark's advocating for the player, and you're trying to.
No. I'm saying it's the negotiation process. It's not just a isolated Cam Thomas versus the Nets negotiation. That's restricted free agency, and market dictates what the player ultimately gets.
So you're in agreement that he should probably take the $14 million 2-year team option.
I think they will ultimately.
We lost him. As soon as I come on, man, I swear to God, I'm like the anti-Mark.
It was a good conversation too. So I'm saying that this was fumbled as badly as possible by Marks every step of the way. You offered him a qualifying offer. If he comes back on a qualifying offer, he's untradeable. You're going to lose him at the end of the year, and he's going to help you win more games, which gets you further away from your goal, which is Darren Peterson or Boozer, or whoever we like in that draft class, right? So he hurts you in that sense, and then you get nothing for him, and you can't trade him, and then he leaves. So
I mean, the one thing that I will say is that
and this is why I said weeks ago, don't even bring him back. The only thing he does, you can't trade him. So the only thing this does is get you further away from your goal. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, in all honesty, if you bring back Cam Thomas and you somehow land Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, or AJ DeBanston, you let Thomas walk in free agency next year, that wouldn't hurt me. I don't care.
He gets you further away. You're going to win more games with him, right?
I really don't think so.
I know you don't.
I mean, we've been over this. We've been over this. You know what I mean? Like, you're not beating Cleveland. The starting five looks half decent. I'll give you that. But the bench is
I'm just saying,
and younger. It's all youth.
So
youth needs to develop. Youth doesn't win.
Cam Thomas plays 70 games for the Nets this year. Or Cam Thomas plays 0 games.
we got a better chance of seeing Jesus Christ than that. He's never done that in his career.
Okay, Cam Thomas plays 70 games for the Nets this year. Or Cam Thomas plays 0 games for the Nets this year. In which situation do the Nets win more basketball games?
With him on the floor.
You want me to be honest?
I know you think that. I think that's crazy. Like I believe that you honestly believe that too. I do. I believe you're being honest.
I do. I think that you can build a more impactful roster in terms of winning around other players not named Cam Thomas. I do believe that. Now, do I believe it with this specific team? No, because I don't think this team is good enough in general, whether it's with Cam Thomas or not. I don't think this team wins games with or without Cam Thomas. It doesn't matter if Cam Thomas is there or not.
With Boston, when they lost Kyrie Irving, I said that's fantastic for Boston. That's addition by subtraction. They're a better team, but they had other players who were good. We don't have other players who are good.
But that's my point, is Cam Thomas isn't a good enough player to win 25-plus games with this type of roster. He's not.
I think they'll win 25. I said 24.
Yeah, I got him at 20. Because, again, you also have to – I'm thinking of it as of right now from the realistic standpoint that every team is healthy currently. Every team in the league, as of right now, is healthy outside of Joel Embiid because he's a bitch. And I'm just going to put that out there because he's horrible. But Philly's still a better team overall than Brooklyn is, correct? Paul George, Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe,
all of these teams are better than Brooklyn. We're going to go through
we can go through every team again.
They're all better
team
than Brooklyn.
That is worst or equal to us is the Utah Jazz. And after that, it's a
They're
big
better than us
leap.
too, by the way.
It is a huge leap to what the secondary teams are ahead of us. You know what I mean? Washington's levels ahead of us. Everybody around the league is now starting to talk about them. Have you seen reports?
I know. I think you guys are way
overvaluing. A lot of people are starting to talk about them, which I absolutely love. They deserve the respect. They're doing this rebuild correctly. They have a massive core.
I don't think they're players.
I think they're going to have a Portland similar season.
I do not. I look at their team and I think these are just dudes. I think they're not bad, but they're just dudes. Like I don't look at these guys as impact. Like they're okay. They're NBA caliber players. They're fine. Yeah. I don't look at their guys, but we'll see. Like they're better than the Nets. I agree. Washington.
My thing is with you have Middleton, you have McCollum, you have Bub, you have Trey Johnson, you have Alex Sarr. They have youth. They still have Corey Kispert on the roster. They have the mixture of second, third, fourth year guys heading into this league with veterans. They're going to be all right. I think they're going to be solid. Do I see them as a play-in team? No. But do I see them as like that Portland 11-12 seed? Major improvement from last season? Hell yeah. I love what Washington's doing.
And someone said before that if we don't give the money to Cam, then we can't give it to Kuminga or Giddey. I don't understand why we couldn't give the money to Kuminga. That was never explained to me. If we offered Kuminga 2 years, $60 million, why could we not do that? Golden State can't match that. They literally can't match it. They can't
They
give him
can
$30 million.
legally match it. It's just they're
Legally,
going
they
to go so
could.
far over the luxury tax that they're going to be broke. But
for a guy they don't
realistically, realistically, he can say that I'm about to accept this deal. Can you now sign and trade me to this team, or I'm going to just accept the deal, and you're going to match me, and I'm going to sit out. Like that's how that could work. And then you're paying a guy $30 million for nothing. So, no, you can go out and do that, but will it happen? Probably not. There's going to be other avenues the Nets can probably bring in contracts. It's not really that difficult. You have to meet a minimum threshold for cap space spent. It's not that hard. They're not that far off of it.
They're pretty far off. Like if they don't sign
What is it,
Cam,
like 13 to 17 million they're off right now? They're around the MLE, I'm pretty sure. Like you can find a guy making 20 million. It's not that hard.
You know how I look at the Cam Thomas situation is, it's like you're in a relationship with your girlfriend. You don't let your girlfriend prevent you from marrying your wife. You know, that's just how I look at it.
It's horrible.
That's just how I look at it. Like if they don't think he's their guy, then all right, then he's not our guy. That's you know, maybe they're wrong. All right, there's been cases where people are wrong, obviously, but you know, if they feel that way and he's not their guy, then all right, you know.
All right, so they got to get to 154.6. 154.6. All right, hang on.
I'm pretty sure we're at like 137 or 138. We're like MLE level away from it. Like realistically, okay, you don't want to bring back Cam Thomas?
Yeah, we're 20. We're 20 million away from it for being out the floor.
Like here you go.
Yeah,
here's 20 million. Quentin Grimes, 1 year deal. Have at it. We'll trade you at the trade deadline.
Why would you give Quentin Grimes a 1 year deal for 20 million, but not your own guy? I don't understand.
Because he's not going to accept the 1 year deal.
Cam wouldn't accept a 1 year, $20 million deal.
He's not accepting a $14 million 1 year deal. A team option is just telling the team option is pretty much telling him that they don't want him long term. So they're going to either trade him after that year and accept it, or they're going to decline it and he's going to hit the open market. It's a 1 year contract.
Who's Cam Thomas's agent?
The same agent as Giannis.
How many other clients has he had? It's just Giannis, really?
Not a clue in the world. I just saw a report saying that Giannis.
Alex Sarasis.
God bless you.
Just curiously, like, what's his track record? Like, has he been able to like get his guys paid, or is it just the Giannis is his own example, the lone example?
He represents Bam. Giannis, all of the Antetokounmpos. Anybody else of note here? No.
Really, Bam, Giannis, and Cam Thomas.
Marcus Howard, Harrison Ingram. It's not super impressive. Yaxel Lendeborg.
All right, yeah.
It's not. It's Cam Thomas. Yeah, it's Cam Thomas, Bam, Giannis. Oh, Precious Achiuwa. He's building something here, right? He's got something here. He's got a couple of names. Oh, shoot. What happened to Mark? Are you still there? Are we done? All right. I guess we're done. All right. I guess we're done. All right. I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Mark, let me know if you're still there. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been a good show. Appreciate everyone dropping by. It's August 11th, 2025 from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.